We are rolling, friends. It is a late Tuesday night. What up? How we doing? It is truly a legendary book. I'm glad you like it. One of my favorites. One of my favorites. Hello, friend. How are you? I'm currently just finishing up some work. Some admin tasks. Andy, regarding your question, I'm an Amazon seller. I love the space. I'm on the fence to start my own company and getting a job to gain experience. Get myself out of the cold faster. If you're an Amazon seller, I'm assuming you do a decent amount. I mean, even if you've really only gotten to like 6 figures a year, even like $90,000 a year, like you could probably get yourself a decently high paying salary. You could probably find 75 to 100 remote. So I would do that. If you're really optimizing for lifestyle, go and get the job in the Amazon community where you're going to be able to learn more get more cash and start your company on the side while you have a job. I wouldn't try to start a company. I don't think that's like the best way to get yourself into a better situation first. Starting a company is pretty murky. I was really lucky in the beginning. I was in a blue ocean. Amazon advertising, there was when I started, there was pretty much no service providers, so it was very easy. But now it's pretty difficult, and so I don't know unless it's a very blue ocean. But even if it is a blue ocean, get yourself a job. You know, I worked full time, not full time, but pretty much full time in construction um, for my dad's installation company while I was trying to start the agency. And once my own company was doing about maybe it was like $5,000 a month, $5 to $10,000 a month, I stopped working in construction. Granted, I had no kids, no house, no mortgage, nothing. I was living at home. How do companies from Belarus, Russia, or Ukraine, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, Belarus, break into the US market? My first question would be, do you need to break into the US market? My second question would be, if the answer is yes, how do you know that to be so sure? And then if you truly do like whatever need to break into the US market because you're building a product or a service and that's where your ideal customer profile is, well, I don't know. It's a pretty broad question. I mean, like breaking into the US market makes it sound like you're robbing a bank. I would say that you should play the long game, go the content route, give the most valuable content and do it the most consistently for 12 to 18 months. If you don't see any traction after like 6 months, go into a different market or, because I'm assuming after 6 months, you've, stayed consistent, you've put a really good content quality, whatever it is. Yeah, really, that's my best advice. You could also use Trojan horse marketing and something like this, but as time goes on, I become more and more bullish on content and inbound than I am on outbound. So I think outbound's a great way to test the market, but there's some markets where your marketing and sales, your marketing strategy is contextual to the market and the offer. So yeah, I can't really give you much advice without having greater context. To be frank with you, yes, our dev team is from Pakistan, and we've paid them over $100,000 last year. So, fuck the culture. I mean, doesn't matter where you're from. Ultimately, if you can prove to me that you have a good service and a good product, you know, I have no problem doing business with you. 100%. It's a good question though, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions. I think, in general, those markets, you know, yeah, we have tons of VAs from the Philippines. But in general, those markets or those countries, like let's say that I was in India. I was born and raised in India, and I wanted to start the same agency I have now, and I want to get US clients. And fortunately, I speak good enough English, okay, to be able to put myself out there on LinkedIn or whatever. The first thing that is really sucks is that all of these people out there that are trying to start an agency like ours, because I see them on LinkedIn, they try to connect with me and my partners every single day. is they send a message like, "Do you need any help with Amazon advertising? We offer this service, this service, this service, this service, this service, this service." This is the most annoying thing I've ever seen. Nobody will respond to that. It is pure spam. So, I mean, the bars, the perception of the markets over there is pretty poor just because of how much spam comes from those markets. At least this is with what I've experienced. So you really just have to zig when everybody's zigging, you should zag, right? And yeah, like Lorenzo said it, they're very aggressive on social media. Yeah, like don't be aggressive. Like I would just do everything the Better AMS is doing right now. I put out a ton of high quality content on LinkedIn, and I would probably never do cold outreach just because of I see so many of them doing it. Yeah. Yeah. We use Payoneer. TransferWise is I've heard good things about though. Anyways, another really good thing is you just hire a US based person and they do the sales and marketing for you. Like at a certain level, if you have the finances, yeah, it doesn't matter where you from, you can hire the fucking talent where you want to get your clients and it's done. Um, there is no cultural barrier. You know what I mean? So you gotta have the money for that though. And if you don't have the money for it, well, it's fine. You just need to put out the content yourself, and when everybody's zigging, you need to zag. I love that book. Good book. Yes, LinkedIn is truly a pitch fest. And it's funny, everybody knows LinkedIn's a pitch fest, and nobody's changing their marketing strategy, which is hilarious because it's like, what? Do people not know that you should just always do the opposite of what the market is doing? You should always just invert the market. So if everybody in the market is like pitch festing on LinkedIn, don't ever do that. Do the exact opposite. And so what does that look like? If everybody's pitch festing, what is the antithesis of that? How do you invert that? How do you like rip that thing inside out? A lot of people also struggle like to conceptualize what that looks like. It's pretty simple. If you want to connect with somebody on LinkedIn, you send the connection request with no note. There's no written note, nothing, no words, zero, just a connection request. That's the exact opposite of what everybody in the whole world is doing on LinkedIn in the B2B space. Everybody else in the 99% of everybody else is literally sending weird templated messages with auto follow ups and blah, blah, blah. So you don't do that. Then do you send them a cold? If they accept that inverted approach that you take, which they're highly likely to accept relative to the other one, um, do you send them this templated cold message that is like, "Hey, buy my services," or "Hey, I want to connect," or there's weird ones. "I want to learn more about your business." There's a lot of weird intros people use. No, because that's what everybody else is doing. So what is the invert of that, right? How do you rip that thing inside out? Right? Everybody's got this pitch right after connecting. Why don't you just do nothing for like 6 months except post highly quality content and maybe just like some of their posts, engage with some of their posts, comment on some of their posts. That'll probably work really well. And then maybe once you've built some rapport, I think is what they call it, then you can maybe send a DM. And if you do send a DM, it better not be some templated thing. It better be, "Hey Taylor, saw you were saw your post about blah blah blah. I just wanted to have my thoughts. I really think XYZ." That's it. It's very obvious there's no pitch. Maybe it's just a valuable extra opinion to a post that I made. "Hey, I really liked your post about this, and I want to expand on that. I think, da 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 da." It doesn't even have to really be that valuable. I think even me, I kinda got lost and, like, it needs to be valuable. Whatever you send to people needs to be valuable. At this point in the market is so shit in terms of just, like, the crap that's being pitched out there, that just being authentic and not selling something makes you valuable at this point. Seriously. It's let that just, like, sink in. So, what's your best state to run a business from? Um, I don't know. We run our operations out of Panama, and there's 0% tax, so it's pretty good. And you can use services like remote.com to hire people anywheres. So, yeah. John Mark Hazard, really cool last name. Agency Enlighten's launching February 15th. It probably won't be 100% done. It'll probably be like 75% done. And then the 25% remaining is going to get finished out over like by the end of February, probably. Maybe like latest first week of March. But yeah, it's going to launch and we'll actually let people in. We already have a lot of sales calls or discovery calls booked. I haven't announced it on YouTube because kind of planning some stuff and I'm fixing the website right now. But yeah, Feb 15th should be the date. And if you're keen to join or just learn more about it, agencyenlighten.com is the website. Um, there will be a calendar to book a call there. It might even be there right now. But yeah, Agency Enlightened, super stoked. I'm so stoked to reopen it. There's already 40 agencies, maybe like 35 agencies. Iris Laris, I think. Yeah, Iris, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Still trying to reach 10K MR. Where are you at right now? I don't remember last time we spoke. I remember talking to you though. John Mark, where's your agency at, dude? If you have an agency. Surprisingly, quite a few people that are on these live streams don't have agencies. Iris, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, forgive me if I'm not. One of the things I want to do this year is actually build a community of fucking agency owners. Pardon my language. Something where we can, instead of like this live call, we can hop on a Zoom call and I can record it and just like answer questions, talk, figure out where people are at. I would love to have like a community of people that are not doing 10K MRR, like less than 10K MRR people. That'd be really cool. Help them scale up to 10K MRR for free. I mean, really just a community, not like paid or anything, but heavily vetted. Like I'll do calls with probably everybody I let in the group. Make sure everybody's got a good vibe. Make sure they have a legit agency. Blah blah blah. And maybe once a month we hop on a call. You know, so I really want to do that. And selfishly speaking, why would I do such a thing? It's probably pretty obvious, but if I can help you get to 10K MRR, I'm sure you'll be pretty inclined to join Agency Enlightened. Also, the content that I can create out of those Zoom calls will pay for itself tenfold. So, yeah. Based in Barbados right now, currently at 4K MR, but struggling to scale up. Really cool, dude. Barbados. What's your biggest bottleneck? Hit me with it right now while we're on the live call. I will happily dive into it. Let's do it. Retainer-based lead gen agency for a while now, but I'm transitioning to pay per lead now. Cool, pay per lead. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about PPL. How did you identify your ideal customer profile? Why did you decide on to focus on agency owners, and how did you segment them and why? Like 10K MRR. Would you work with anybody making 5K MRR? Um, for Agency Enlightened, I just wanted to help agencies that are doing at least like 10K a month. I was at 10K. I for myself, I didn't struggle getting to 10, 20K a month. I really struggled going from 20 to 100. Um, that was just a struggle for me. Getting past like 30 to 35K MRR was where I really struggled. And so I feel super passionate about helping people that are doing at least over 10K to just take it to seven figures, push it to 100K plus. Right now, our agency this month or last month, I think we did about 154,000, 154, and I think we had about 14% profit margins. We had a lot of expenses. We were in a Mexico company retreat that was expensive. Beach house mansion with 10 bedrooms is pricey, and chefs and everything. Um, but yeah, so it's just a personal preference. I do and really want to help people that are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 KMR and get them, like, I guess you could say 5 figures to 6 figures. Absolutely. I'm super stoked. I mean, that's why I do all this content on YouTube. That's why I'm on this live stream. And yeah, I think a Discord, something like this, I would love. So probably will fire something up. Do you think everyone should have an agency planned or started before joining? Yeah, like before joining Agency Enlightened. Yeah, for Agency Enlightened, you got to be doing at least $10,000 a month. If you're talking about the agency community that I'm talking about, that I was talking about earlier, yeah, I mean that I would kind of want to keep that agency community to people that have an agency and have at least one client, you know. So biggest bottleneck has been finding that lead gen process that generates clients on autopilot. Currently, I'm doing Loom cold email outreach, and I'm testing to find a process that works. John, what's your niche? Tell me your service. Tell me your market. You don't need to go into extreme depth. You could say like Amazon advertising management for 7+ figure businesses on Amazon. That would be mine. What's yours? How did you decide your pricing? Agency Enlightened pricing, it's going to be 9,600. And pricing, I mean, I don't know. I just decided that if I'm going to help you go from 6 figures to 7 figures and maintain good margins and build a strong culture, I would have paid 25+ thousand dollars if someone really, for the content that I'm making now, if my 19-year-old self could know how good it is and was sold properly on the content, easily he would have paid 25 grand. Because, like if you join a program, and it's really easy to pay for for the value of the program to be higher than 9,800. I mean, it's tremendous. It's very easy. You sign one client that's worth $2,000 to $3,000 a month, or whatever. You sign 2 or 3 clients that are worth $4,000 project based. You make one good hire, you make a tremendous shift in your culture. You fire somebody that's kind of not been performing well, and because of your better understanding of culture, you're able to make that decision, and that ends up allowing you to have the space to hire somebody else that works out really well. How to build a leadership team, how to manage your finances, mm, how to like pivot when the market shifts, identify your ideal customers. I mean, there's just so many things. It's the full spectrum. It's mindset. It's like general business things like who's your ideal client, what's your service, what's your offer, what's your market, what's your pricing, and then it's marketing, sales, HR, operations, and finance. We're going through the whole spectrum. You know what I mean? Of scaling your agency to I can only say $150,000 a month because that's where we're at. So um, I know that that's definitely possible. Solar paper lead. I'm in the ecom niche. We've generated 400K USD for our clients so far. Our ideal clients generates at least 100 sales per month. Okay, well, what service do you offer? A lead. We also offer in lead generation in Barbados, but our high ticket clients are in the ecom niche. John, I'm sure cold email is doing okay. My advice to you, email marketing, SMS marketing. Okay, so classic marketing agency for ecom, whatever. That's cool. Yeah, kind of coming off of what Lorenzo said. What's your website? I want to look up your website before I say anything else. I have an idea of what I want to say, but I don't want to say it until I actually get a little bit more context out of you. Because if you've generated 400,000 for your clients, well, I'd hope your website's pretty decent. I don't think 400,000 is a lot by any means, but it's enough to where you should have no issues with imposter syndrome of signing big clients or just like selling people in social proof, whatever. You've broken past the barrier of I have no results to show, is what I'm getting at. So that's kind of the first big bridge that you cross. Anyways, in case you didn't go on the live stream and there's other people wondering what my advice would be, because maybe you I don't know, there's people coming off and on and off this live stream. One, if you're just doing cold outreach right now, I would go heavy into LinkedIn and YouTube for 6 months. Both. Do the work. Make 3 or 4 YouTube videos a week and 3 or 4 LinkedIn posts per week. And make it all about what you're doing in ecom and how you're scaling brands on ecom, and just make it the most valuable content you can possibly think of. On YouTube, the search is insane. So you just kind of got to get past like 10, 20 videos. The search will take care of itself. You don't really need to do anything else on YouTube aside from make the video, make a decent thumbnail, get the tags in. It's pretty easy. It's really straightforward. And your niche is ridiculous. I mean, billions of dollars probably has been spent on drop shipping courses. You're in a huge ocean. Is it red? I don't know. I'm not in that market. I would say possibly it's in the middle between blue and red. I really don't know. Anyways, on LinkedIn, you're gonna have to just connect with these owners of the shops that you're finding. Likely you have a sourcing process for sourcing leads. That's how you're probably finding leads for your Loom outreach strategy. Yeah, you can't just be doing cold. I think that I made this mistake early on in the agency of just doing cold, not doing enough inbound. You should always be doing both. And actually, over time, you should eventually just be doing more inbound. Look at the world. It's content based. The consumption of content is ridiculous. YouTube just announced their principles for 2022. It was a good announcement. Everybody should read it because YouTube's a very influential platform in our generation, in this time of Earth right now. And they hit like 5 trillion short views. I think it was trillion. I don't think it was just billion. I think it was trillion views of those YouTube shorts. Anyways, I can tell you that I stopped posting for 2-3 months, and like my viewers dropped, my views dropped maybe 30, 40%. My subscribers per month dropped maybe 30, 40% after about 2 or 3 weeks of not posting, and it just flatlined. And that's not a bad thing. That's an unbelievably good thing. It blew my mind that for 2 months of not posting anything, I was still raking in 100 subscribers every month. I was still raking in 100 plus thousand video impressions. It was just like mind blowing. The average CPM on Facebook right now is maybe $15, $20 in our market per thousand impressions. I mean, I'm getting 100,000 impressions on my YouTube thumbnails across all my videos every single month, I think it is, or week. I don't know. It's crazy. That's so much ad spend for free from not a whole lot of work. It blows my mind. 100,000 impressions. I'm like, wow. Um, yeah, so it's crazy. And anyways, so that's my advice to you, John. I really think that you should go all in on inbound for the next 6 months and make that 100% your focus. Dial in your descriptions on YouTube, dial in your content on LinkedIn. Oh, this is way. Oh, yeah, I think I already did tell you. Just make sure that you have a database of all the leads that you find for your Loom outreach and just throw them into a software like Meet Alfred. Probably the best LinkedIn automation, connection automation, outreach automation tool there is in the market. Fuck sending them messages. You don't even need to send them a message. Just connect with them. Okay, connect with them. No note, no description, no template. A blank connection on LinkedIn. That's it. And then maybe after you've connected, like one of their posts. If they post, comment on some stuff. I mean, you don't even need to go that far. Just post the content 3, 4 times a week. I don't know Ulinik or Ulink, so I've never heard of that one. I have tried Duck Soup. I've tried Meat Octopus, which I think Octopus was acquired by Meat Alfred. Alfred. There's so many of those tools now. It's unbelievable. Yeah, and like Andy Craig is saying, dude, there's so many influencers. You gotta build a dream 100. Fuck, this is crazy, but like the core marketing concept in Agency Enlightened is about the dream 100. It's just all about that. And dream 100 doesn't just mean 100. I mean, it's an infinite number. The concept started by a guy named I don't know, I forget the guy's name, but he was hired by Charlie Munger for one of Charlie Munger's companies. And then the concept was picked up by Russell Brunson because Russell Brunson started popularizing it. Get to know all of these influencers. Hire a virtual assistant to build you a database. I guarantee you there's 10,000 plus fucking people on YouTube talking about Shopify and how to start a Shopify store. Blah, 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 blah. Great. Literally start reaching out to those people. Like there's a good book. I think it's called Contagious. If you're going to do outreach, it's weird because a lot of people are pretty short term in how they see things. And I was like that too. So you can't blame them. But everything in business is just a relationship. It's all relationships. It's all relationships. And Trojan horse marketing, Loom outreach, there's a lot of cold outbound tactics that you can use to try to get someone to purchase your service or purchase your services quickly. And that's fine. But you'll lose in the long term if that's all you do, is if all you do is use these different tactics that can get you clients quickly, but they never really build you strong relationships with everybody that you're touching. And so when I look at marketing now, I think of marketing in a way where it's like, okay, whatever strategy we deploy, whatever thing we do, I just want it to, haha, Kevin, dude, come to Vinal. Why are you even in Panama City? Unbelievable. You got to come out here, dude. I know you're in Canada right now. Kevin's a good friend. Kevin Zhao, everybody who's on this live stream, is the founder of keyword.com. What a fucking domain. Keyword.com, ladies and gentlemen. He lived right next door to me. Great dude. And he's got a really cool story. He's also from Canada. And yeah, he's a cool entrepreneur. Anyways, where I was going with this, when I think about deploying a marketing strategy now, especially in B2B, it's all about how do I give the best vibes and build a great relationship. Yes, you've been doxxed. Dude, there's no doxing you. If I search your name right now, actually, let me see. Maybe like some other people come up. Kevin Zhao, GitHub. Ah, there's a lot of Kevin Zhaos out there. Okay, maybe I did dox you. Dude, it's all good. There's like 8 people on this live stream, man. Like 20 people are gonna see this. That's so funny. Anyways, we can talk about that later. Anyways, relationships, marketing. Sorry, I'll finish this point. Like I try to think of it in a way where it's like whatever marketing strategy we deploy, I just want it to be the most long-term based marketing strategy that builds the most authentic relationships with everyone that the marketing strategy touches. And content is really probably the best way to do that. Zoom out and think about, how do you get millions and millions of people to love you without ever talking to them in person? Content. Content that's either entertaining or valuable or both. It's one of those two. Entertainment is value. So really, let's just narrow it down to value. And so going all in on content is really the theme of 2022 and has been the theme of 2021. And I really think it's what's going to help us get to $250,000 a month in revenue, and eventually push up to $500,000 in MRR. So stoked, but that's it, ladies and gents. Would you advise against selling a course as a first econ venture? Is it better off to start with a product or service? I mean, if you have the experience and the knowledge to sell a course, do it. If you don't have the experience to sell a course, don't try to teach something you don't know. If you really like the idea of info product businesses, but you don't have any skills whatsoever to that you can actually use to make the course, maybe you could partner with somebody that has the skills and you could just market the course. But I probably wouldn't go down that route. I would probably stick to just mastering a service-based business or a product-based business, get it to a decent level, and then maybe eventually launch a course if you want to. You can't teach something you don't know. There's too many people that scale a business to $5,000 a month and then they launch a course talking about how to get to 4 figures. So I wouldn't go down that route. Kevin, did you leave after I doxed you? I texted you on WhatsApp and you didn't respond. Looks like I missed the fun. Yeah, you did, dude. This was lit. This was lit. All right, ladies and gents, I'm going to sleep. 10:30. I appreciate you guys. Much love. And I did launch a agency under interview today. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Highly recommend. If you're on this live stream and you haven't subscribed to the channel, don't ever come back and watch my videos. I'm just kidding. You can do that, but you should seriously support the channel. I would appreciate it greatly. There's like 6 people on this live stream, so the least you can do is help me get 6 more subscribers if none of you are subbed. All right, love you guys. Going to sleep. Much love. Talk to you guys soon. Ciao.